So they are spring assisted, and they just a little tap and they should kind of close on their own. All right, hey, so if you've been following along, I've been working at Bear Ridge, and in the last video I put up the posts, and today I'm trying to put the gates together that are gonna go on those posts. And I don't know if you can see that very well. I made one fatal mistake, unfortunately. I thought I'd measured the boards at all over, I thought that they were all gonna be over 8 feet. And so I put the posts in the ground just under, with just a little bit less than 8 feet between them, thinking I had, or excuse me, 16 feet. And there's gonna be 2 gates, so 8 plus 8, 16. Unfortunately, the boards were only 88 inches and not 96 inches, which meant I've had to do a lot of refactoring, refiguring, trying to find a way to make it work, because I don't have any more boards, and I've got all this maple cut up that I wanted to use. So that added like a couple hours of just redoing the design, but I think I've got it pretty close now. Getting ready to glue and screw. This is the back side of the gate, of one gate, and of course the other will be a mirror image of it. And so we'll see how it works out. So yeah, I've got liquid nails and decking screws, galvanized decking screws. So I'm going to start that right now and bring you along with me. So welcome to TWC Projects, and let's get started on this one. All right, so there's gate number 1. Looks pretty good. As I said, I had to do some finagling, so it didn't turn out perfectly, but I ended up doing a mix of oak, and this is oak, so these pieces on the end are all oak. I think that's oak too. But the rest of it's maple, and once it's all stained, it'll kind of look the same, but that's gate number 1. The other one should be pretty quick. I don't know, I feel like I might need another strip in the middle here just to kind of keep this, give us a little bit more stability. But of course, these coming at an angle like this keep the weight of the 8-foot from sagging and dropping down. And then I've got some big hinges that are going to go on here. And then of course I used a lot of liquid nails and decking screws all over the place. So give it the extra strength. And you know, this is kind of like a beam almost, because there's 2 of them glued and screwed together. So I think it looks pretty nice. It's what I had in my mind, at least for the most part, except for this extra 6 inches that I had to add because my boards weren't long enough. So a little bit of finagling. Otherwise, it would have just been this piece on the end, and it would have been both of them would have been done a long time ago. So anyway, that's it. I'll get the other one done, and then we'll be ready to hang it tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. All right, I'm going to call it quits for tonight. It's after 9 o'clock, and I'm afraid it might be making a little bit more noise than my neighbors need to hear. So just about done though. As you can see, it was pretty quick doing the second one. Figuring out the first one was the hard part, and then after I did it, I just laid the second one on top, or all the boards on top, and matched it, used it as a template. So it's pretty easy to get it right, and even if my other gate wasn't perfectly square, this one will match it. So when they get to the middle between the posts, as long as the posts are level, which I did every effort I could to make them perfectly level, the gates will line, the middle parts will line up together, because like I said, even if I didn't have it perfectly square and it's off a little bit, they're both off the exact same, so they'll meet where they need to meet. I put on a couple of the hinges, which these are spring-loaded, so they'll cause they're supposed to cause the gate to close back on its own, and they're pretty heavy duty. So all I have left to do is trim off this little piece here, put one more board here, and put the hinges on the other gate, and I'll be ready to go. So hopefully I can do that in the morning. if I'm feeling up to it tomorrow. And I said I was going to take tomorrow off because it's Sunday, day of rest, and it's supposed to be. So we'll see. But I won't wrap this up now. I'll wait till I hang the gates so that you can see it all done together. And hopefully tomorrow we'll get up there. We'll get these gates up there and get them hung, and it'll be exciting. I think it's gonna look nice. I hope it will. Hopefully they'll be pretty strong. You saw I used a ton of liquid nails. That glue is going to be a lot stronger than the screws over time, but of course the screws will help too, and they'll obviously hold it all in place. And surprisingly, these boards were all pretty straight. They didn't twist or warp too much. I was really kind of surprised. I thought I might have some problems with them, but I think I got them cut and dried properly using the rack that you saw me build down there, where I have the tractor implements, but also use it for drying wood, and it's been working great. So I threw this right up on top of the cedar down there for I don't know how many, several weeks, and you know, it was good drying weather, and I think it dried pretty well. So I don't think it'll shrink too much more. I hope not, because I put screws all through it, but I think it'll be okay. And hopefully this summer we'll get some stain on it. Once we get we got to do the other two side fences as well. So here's the drawing. I think you might have seen this in an earlier video, but that's what it's basically supposed to look like. I had to change the sides just a little bit because, like I said, my board's only 88 inches and they were supposed to be 96. So I think I made it work. So it looks similar to that. The way I had this, I was going to use 10-foot boards and get a little bit longer run. I just didn't have them, so I had to use the 8-foot boards that I have, or 88-inch boards, I should say. So I think it'll work out all right, though. Still, what I might do to make up for it, to compensate for it, is I might do one more center board like I did on the ends. I think that'll look better and give it a little bit more strength too. Just to keep those, you know, those gates sticking out 8 feet, they're going to want to sag over time. So this reinforcement should help hold it. So that's it. Let's pick up in the morning and we'll go from there. All right, so I'm up here at Bear Ridge now. I've got the gates with me strapped onto the truck. We're going to pull them off the truck and mount them up on the post, and fingers crossed, hopefully the measurements are right and they look good. We're going to find out here shortly though, so let's keep going. All right, so close, but not quite. I think I'm gonna have to just raise this right side up a little bit. I tried adjusting with the hinges, but then the more I adjusted it, more it pushed it into the middle. So you can see I put a bit of a gap here that I probably am gonna wanna pull that back. So I think the best thing to do is raise this gate on the right up a little bit to try to make up for this 1.5 inch difference here. And as far as them being, they're going to be like perfectly snug now, but I think over time wood tends to shrink a little bit more. Even though this is fairly dry wood, I think it'll still continue to shrink a little more. So there'll probably be a bit of a gap in there eventually over time. But overall, I like it. So let me finish up, and of course it'll look a lot nicer extended on. You know, on each side I'll extend it out. Just the fence, not too far, but just maybe another post or two. And but for now, we're gonna move this down a little bit. And I can see the ants have already started to try to make a home, because I had a little bit of a not a perfect spot here, and I don't have the ant spray with me. I didn't think to bring that. I'll bring that next time and make a go of it. So I'm going to move all these screw holes down, or excuse me, up about 1¼ inches, and hopefully that'll do the trick, and we'll get the gate perfect. I'm sure over time it'll sag, but also I don't remember if I told you this already in the video, but you see me, of course I glued and screwed everything, because the glue is what's really stronger, but the screws are also give you some strength while the glue hardens, but also a little extra strength along the way. But, and I think I already explained why I put these boards coming down at an angle like this, because they hold that weight, because the weight tends to want to drop this way over time. But what I didn't mention, I don't think, was the fact why I was drilling every hole before I put the screws in. And that was a couple reasons. One is oak is like really hard, and some of this is oak, some of this is the maple. But by drilling first, it prevents the boards from splitting. I just didn't want to split it, which is easy to do, putting screws in to split the board. So this way I kept it all neat. And you also probably noticed I kept all the screws on the back side. I just thought it was going to look nicer that way, and you know, it really doesn't matter. It's just a rough cut gate. But from this side, other than this brace that I'll pull off in a minute, there are no screw heads showing anywhere on the poles. Now it may not be that way once I put the fence on, but for now I thought it looked really nice on the gate to be that way, though, with no screws showing on the front. They're all on the back. So, and these are spring assisted. Just a little tap and they should kind of close on their own. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I've got the gate together, looks pretty good. And in the future video, I'll do the fence along either side, which I talked about. Turned out really nicely though, and I've got to, I'm just not gonna do it today. I've got to get a few other things done before I leave, but I'll end up cutting that off at the line so that it is the same height as the other side. That'll look a little bit better. And then of course these gates both swing open, and they're a little bit spring loaded. I need a tension that I can adjust the springs to make them close a little bit better, because they're not quite closing perfectly yet. But I think they turned out real nice. I'm happy with them. So we'll call it a day. Thanks again for watching TWC Projects. Thanks for coming along and helping me create things, fix things, and enjoy God's beautiful creation outside. Until next time, have a fantastic day and a fantastic week, and we'll see you on the next project.